Hello, it is me again, Fredrex2007 here. Today's video is another review of my Godzilla Millennium series, movie review series. So yeah, this is pretty much the second movie in the Millennium series, and pretty much we all do know that throughout the Millennium era, they're all just reboots. Except one of them aren't a reboot, because it's just a sequel. But today's review, today's the second movie in the Millennium era that came out in December of 2000 in Japan. Once again, right from Toho, it is Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. So this movie was quite confusing for me, because since when I was a kid, I thought this movie was a sequel to Godzilla 2000. It was really confusing for all of us, because they pretty much just used the same suit from Godzilla 2000, like the same Godzilla Millennium suit. Which is okay, but it doesn't help to put that kind of design in a reboot Godzilla film, like as a rebooted story. It's just kind of odd. And the other thing is, it's pretty much like in the beginning. So it started in the beginning of the movie. It does shows to the place where it all happens since 1954, where the original Godzilla takes place. And yeah, they just used the Millennium suit to be the original Godzilla design. I was like, are you joking? Are you serious? What? Whatever, but throughout the years, Japan has been cleaning off all the radiation energy away out of Japan, so Godzilla won't come there to feed on. Because pretty much we all do know that Godzilla feeds on radiation energy from Japan, so they have to get rid of and clean off all the radiation energy out of Japan as possible. Until a few years later, in 1996, there were like 12 military soldiers that's going to try to take down Godzilla that's just wandering off around Japan looking for radiation energy. And and it doesn't go quite well. They're trying to kill Godzilla with their rocket launchers, but then until then, Colonel got murdered by Godzilla. Godzilla actually just knocks a few pieces out of the building and actually landed on Colonel, and it shows our main female character in this movie, Kiriko. She screams for Godzilla and blasts him with the rocket launcher, like always in almost every movie. So yeah, it just goes to the title card, and it now takes place a few years later in 2001. Yes, 2001, around in Shibuya in Tokyo. And it does explain, it shows other random human characters that people doesn't care about, like this nerdy guy. He doesn't even act straight, like really serious. Like he pretty much just acts like just an idiot when he's just putting out jokes everywhere. Like he's just smart and everything, but it just makes him an idiot, you know? Like nerdy characters always act like idiots when they're joking around. And the other thing is, when Kiriko asks him for help, when they just came along because he was in the middle of playing magical tricks with children, like making powder turning into rice with flavors, you know, and pretty much take him to the science lab, and pretty much there's a group of this military group is actually called a company called G Grasper, if I'm correct by that, because it says G Grasper around in their hats, on their hats they're wearing. And pretty much they took the nerdy guy to the science lab, and it shows this female scientist that tells him they're going to plan out to kill Godzilla with a black hole gun. I was like, are you kidding me? Are they really? Like, the Japanese is literally using a black hole gun just to kill Godzilla. Like, how are they going to do that? Like, creating a big, giant... Like, how did they even create this giant force in a machine that creates black holes? And pretty much, like, they're going to try to kill off Godzilla with a black hole gun, which they're going to do. And they've been building that thing for 3 months. 3 months later, and it shows another character. It's a bug boy. We always need a kid in the Godzilla movie sometimes, because this boy is obsessed with bugs. He wanders off into forest, and he noticed that the military is testing out the black hole gun, and he noticed it, and even one of the military dudes caught him. And even though, like, the military is supposed to kill someone if someone spots them doing a testing, testing weapons or whatever, like, it's supposed to like kill him. But no. Pretty much Kiriko tells the little boy to keep it a secret. And until they test out the black hole gun, they shoot the black hole into a building and it ran over something. Until later that night, the boy woke up with something outside, and he noticed a giant dragonfly went into the black hole, and he found a bug, a mosquito egg in the forest. And pretty much, like, this movie explains that this creature is from another dimension. Like, pretty much came out of the black hole when it just ran over a bug. And pretty much, he just took the egg with him, and they moved the Shibuya around in Japan and Tokyo, and he just gets rid of the egg, and he just throws the egg down into the drain. And pretty much until later into that evening, the egg hatched in the sewers, and it hatched out a Megalulon, which is actually the creature from Rodan. So pretty much this character returns into this film, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the Megalulon is pretty much going to hunt for humans, hunting for food around Tokyo until it changes into a Megalulus. Like a little mini flying mosquito. Like, that's what it does. And pretty much it's pretty dark, like, pretty much like a Megalulon is hunting out for humans and feeding on them. Yeah, it's pretty harsh for a Japanese film like this. And until the other thing, they found out that the bug is actually from another dimension, like a Megalulon. So yeah, until earlier into the movie, like in the middle of the movie, they noticed something in the middle of the lake, and they noticed that Godzilla killed a little Megalula, which is a little mosquito, and they actually caught a sample of it. And then Kariko followed Godzilla and jumped onto his back, which is pretty cool, and shot a tracking missile on him, which is pretty odd, like pretty much just shooting a tracking missile onto Godzilla's spine, which is odd. And pretty much, like, they're going to lure into Godzilla into an island where they can shoot the black hole gun. They pretty much put a black hole gun in the satellite up in space so they can shoot the black hole down towards Godzilla, down to Earth. And pretty much, like, the black hole will pretty much, like, destroy the whole world, but it doesn't. This is a Godzilla movie after all. The other thing was, when they shoot the black hole on Godzilla, he was like, that's annoying, what a minor inconvenience. Like, that is just annoying. And pretty much later on, when they shot him with the black hole gun, Godzilla is being attacked by the Megalulas. And earlier in that movie, Tokyo was flooded. For some reason, like, the movie didn't explain why Japan was being flooded until there was Megalulas flying around Japan and fly towards the island where Godzilla is. And when they shot the black hole gun, they just ran off because they actually took a sample on Godzilla, like taking away some of his energy, so the little Megalulas will bring the energy to the queen and feed the energy onto the queen until it wakes up underwater in Japan, which is odd. I gotta stop saying odd. So the other thing is, like, Megaguirus awake out of the water, so Megaguirus flies away until the scientist says it's a creature. It's Megaguirus. It's the queen of the mosquitoes, or whatever. Like, whatever. Until later on in the movie, in the ending, Godzilla came to the surface around Osaka, around in Japan, until Megaguirus shows up, and until they get into the final fight. The final fight is pretty cool. Like the final fight is pretty goofy and awesome into those parts. Like, pretty much, like, Megaguirus is just tormenting Godzilla, like, making him mad. Like, she's, like, just flying around, like, around Godzilla, like, not touching him. And, like, she's like, I'm not touching you, great, I'm over here, kind of thing, you know? And Godzilla is just really mad. Like, he really wants Megaguirus to stop doing that. And pretty much Megaguirus wants to take the energy away from Godzilla so she can survive. The other thing is, when Godzilla is trying to take down Megaguirus, Megaguirus always pushes him, always smacking him, like, with her claws, and even even pushing down a building on him. And it pretty much makes him mad. And yeah, and Godzilla just has it and pretty much beat at him. Like, he cut off one of her claws with his spines, and pretty much actually grabs her tail with his tail, swinging him around. Until then, Megaguirus was trying to point the stinger into his mouth, but pretty much the Godzilla grabs her stinger with his mouth, and it bites it off. Until then, Godzilla does the final blast on Megaguirus. So yeah, Megaguirus is fully finished. Like, her name onto the title of the movie only appears for 10 minutes. In the ending of the movie, it only appears twice in 2 scenes of the movie, which is weird. It's just weird. Then Godzilla is heading to the science lab, where it has a nuclear radiation, like a radiation generator inside the nuclear around inside the science lab. And pretty much the only problem is the black hole is falling down on Earth because it's not holding really well. So pretty much Kiriko has to point down on Godzilla into the spaceship so the black hole will aim right towards her so it can land on Godzilla. So pretty much she got out of there, and then until then the ship just landed on Godzilla, and then the black hole went straight on him. And Godzilla tried to shoot atomic breath on it, but it hits him. Until then, the humans had nothing to celebrate because Godzilla was nowhere to be seen. Because they think he's gone from getting hit from the black hole. So yeah, so Kiriko thinks like she saved the whole town, but pretty much half of the whole town, pretty much half of Tokyo is destroyed. Then after when the credits rolled, it gets to the scene what happened to the bug kid. He's in school, and it shows that Godzilla is actually still alive, and it notices that, and basically it can tell you that the military failed twice from using the black hole. Using the black hole gun to try to kill Godzilla, but it didn't. It's actually, so yeah, this movie is pretty much basically showing that it's like the black hole gun is actually showing that's undeniable proof that Godzilla is actually unkillable. So yeah, that was Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. It's definitely the weakest throughout the Millennium series of movies, and probably one of the weakest throughout the franchise itself. So yeah, this movie it's not too bad. Pretty much the only problems, like Godzilla and Megaguirus are cool looking kaijus throughout the movie, but everything just drags this movie down. Like, most of the human characters don't even have any character at all. Most of them just act like morons, and pretty much the scientist is just acting like an idiot more than a person that's trying to take things seriously. Like, he's just the scientist she's just being obsessed with trying to kill Godzilla because all of the things that he done from the past. And pretty much Megaguirus, it's not a bad kaiju, it's a cool kaiju. And throughout the whole movie of the black hole gun thing, like, it's pretty much like not much special. Like, pretty much it just shows that Godzilla is unkillable because he wouldn't get killed by a black hole. So yeah, anyways guys, this movie is really not bad. I do recommend you guys to check out this movie just to have a good laugh. And if you really want to watch a really good 2000s Godzilla movie, this one isn't it. So, I give Godzilla vs. Megaguirus an 8 out of 10. It's good. Not the greatest, not the best throughout the Millennium series. It's good in my opinion. Like, it's not too bad. Like, it's okay. Like, pretty much, like, the human characters are the only thing. And I really do love the way that they use a human character to be a female, because I love the way how human female characters are always in Godzilla movies to be the main leads, you know? Whew. So yeah, I do recommend this movie just to have a good laugh. So just go see it if you want to. So anyways, with that out of the way, next time we're gonna be having a look at Giant Monsters All Out Attack. So stay tuned for that review, and I'll see you guys in the next review. So take care guys, and bye bye.